Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the way to 12,700 subscribers. And of course, if you could click the like button, I would be incredibly grateful. And I mean that, click the like button now. Do it now. But look, we'll get into last night's game. PSG 0, Arsenal 2. Really a comfortable game and one that I'm very happy with. But there's been a few negatives knocking around today that I don't really understand. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Mohamed Kudus because I want to talk about it. And I've got my hopes up for no real reason. But there is reason. There is reason. There's plenty of you here. Anu Brata, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Saka the Goat, Vivi Vlad, Lukey Hyper, Saliba, Oslo Guna, Matthew Junior Phils, Pekka Tentego, Lukey Nid, Philip Guna, Sam Shapiro, Ross Lorman, Sean Marque, and many, many more. Smithy's here as well. I'm not late. I am not late. Thank you very much. I am right on time. But no, it's good to see plenty of you in here. So look, we'll start with yesterday's game. And I mean, I don't know what you thought of it, but I thought it was a bit boring. I thought it was a bit uneventful. And do you know how good it is that that is the case? Can you imagine saying a few years ago that we'd be in the Champions League against PSG and just beating them in a comfortable 2-0 win? Boring, run of the mill. Could have been against, Wolves. It could have been the opening day against Wolves all over again. It really could have done. And that is really a mark of where we have come. And it's impressive. It's very impressive. Saw a stat saying PSG scored in their last. Well, I don't think it's quite that many. But no, yeah, there are some stats. That was PSG's lowest XG in a Champions League game in the last, since Opta started recording it 69 Champions League games ago. PSG have never had that low XG. First time they've not scored in a Champions League group game in 51 games, I think. And that's just, a testament of our defence. But it's the whole squad. The whole squad acts as a defensive unit. And it's really impressive. Arteta has changed my life. He has. The atmosphere was boring. Yeah, the atmosphere wasn't great. To be honest with you. I think fans have been priced out, to be honest. I think the tickets were too expensive. And I just don't think there was as much hype for it because of the new format. I don't think there's going to be hype for these games until people know, this is a must win. Or this is a must not lose. And we won't get that until the final couple of games of the league phase. So, yeah, the atmosphere wasn't great. Desiree Doué left a lot to be desired, I'll tell you that. He did, but, a lot of attackers do when they play against Arsenal these days. Barcola didn't look great either. And I know from watching Barcola, he's very, very good. But, again, Timber, especially in the first half, absolutely pocketed him. What happened? Some people cooking Calafiori. This is that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying in terms of some of the weird things that have come out. The Calafiori criticism is one thing I found strange. Nid, thank you very, very much for being a member for 2 months. When Odegaard is fit, do we bench Trossard despite his great form and rhythm? Yes. Yes, truthfully, we do. When Odegaard's back, Odegaard starts. And look, Trossard has done a brilliant job filling in for Martin Odegaard. I think a combination of Trossard and Kai Havertz have really done well in the absence of Martin Odegaard. But we are still missing some creativity. And even though Trossard did provide a brilliant assist for Kai Havertz yesterday, our overall creativity, it is down. We had 0.7 XG yesterday. Like, we didn't actually create that much. So yeah, look, Odegaard will go back into the team, but huge amount of credit to Trossard for what he's done. You'll say Trossard is only a super sub player. Well, I still think he is a super sub player, and I think he will be a super sub player once Martin Odegaard's back. That doesn't take away from the fact that he has been very, very good. But Nid, once again, thank you very, very much for being a member for 2 months. The members do massively help the channel. Did you hear Shearer commentary saying Havertz's goal was lucky and didn't mean to head the ball? Yeah, no, I didn't hear it. luckily. Shearer's a well, I don't know what I was trying to say then. Mug. We'll go with mug. The Calafiori hate is crazy. Yeah, so the criticism of Calafiori has been that defensively he looks shaky. Now, I had already said he does go in a little bit aggressively at times. We saw it against City. He did it with Savio. He can go in a bit aggressively, and he can get caught out from that. Equally, he can go in aggressively, win the ball back in a really good position, and set us up to move forward. In terms of yesterday's game, though, I mean, outside of at one point, Hakimi absolutely burnt him for pace, right? Hakimi will burn pretty much anyone for pace. Hakimi is blisteringly quick. And whether that had been Zinchenko, Timber, Kivior, Tomiyasu, anyone other than William Saliba, they would have been getting blitzed by Hakimi. Like, he's rapid. Calafiori's not slow, to be honest. He's really not slow. So, yeah, and outside of that, I'm not really sure what Calafiori did wrong. There was one time I think he got the wrong side of maybe it was Barcola, and Barcola kind of shrugged him off. But other than that, I thought Calafiori was brilliant again. The freedom that Calafiori has on the pitch, at one point in the first half, he literally just drifted over to right central midfield because he can. And I love that. So he's a bit like early days Big Gabby, slightly raw, but we'll get smoothed out. Exactly. Think about what Big Gabby was like in the first couple of seasons. You know, you've got to remember Calafiori is still only 22 years old. And even within his kind of development, he had 18 months where he didn't play, basically, as well. So, look, the fact that this is him at 22 and still catching up on some of the experience that he missed, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are trying to find a reason to complain in some ways. Hakimi was already full sprint before Cala was running. Yeah, exactly. And he is absolutely rapid. So, do a collab with Bevo or Ben AFC? No, to be quite honest. I mean, Ben, I suppose I could have dinner with Ben, I suppose. Bevo, I'd rather, teabag a blender, to be quite honest. He just has the freedom to move up the pitch. It leaves him vulnerable, but it's not as bad as everyone made it. No, not at all. So, yeah, that was Calafiori. And then the other player that people complained a little bit about was Merino. Some people didn't think Merino. Now, I think there were a couple of little criticisms of Merino. I thought, especially sort of just after he'd come on, he spent too long on the ball a couple of times, got caught out. I think at one point he got tackled and it kind of, luckily, I think it bounced back to Saka or someone. But outside of that, again, I thought he was really good. Put some big tackles in. Immediately, you can see the amount of times Mikel Merino is going to win the ball. You know, when we're defending our box, the amount of times Mikel Merino is going to win the ball around there will be massive. So again, I was happy with Merino's performance as well. So yeah, I found, to me, it seemed a little bit like people were trying to find issues with the performance. The only player that I personally was disappointed in was Gabriel Jesus. And I spoke about that. So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I thought it was weird. Did you hear Tom Canton read your tweet about the stadium atmosphere and did not agree? He was very respectful, but thought you were wrong. What did he think I was wrong about? What did he think I was wrong about? Because the atmosphere wasn't good. So what did he think I was wrong about? I like Tom, but I mean, I was there. The atmosphere wasn't good, so the tweet was correct. Just left for a moment, so I don't know if you touched on Thomas Partey. Thought he was brilliant last night. Yes. No, I haven't mentioned Partey actually, but I agree. And I've been saying this. Thomas Partey has been getting better as the season has gone on. He's getting more gas in the tank. I still don't think he can do a full 90 minutes, but he's getting more gas in the tank. Looks pretty comfortable, and had a really good game last night. So, yeah, it didn't sound that good on TV either, to be honest. No, it wasn't. And look, you know, the atmosphere was the PSG fans were unbelievable, but there were a combination of things. Firstly, people forget that on a Champions League night, North London Forever gets played before the players come out, so it gets played about 8 minutes before kickoff, which means a lot of people haven't even come out to their seats yet. So we don't get the best North London Forever. And it just felt a little bit like people didn't necessarily care, to be honest, which is fine. Like I said, there are reasons for that. I made a video about it on TikTok today as to why, because it's not just us. Peter Schmeichel at the Etihad for Man City's game against Inter Milan, which is their biggest Champions League home game of the league phase, he said the exact same thing. He said it was dead there as well. I think it's to do with the fact that it is meant to be a big game. The ticket prices are that of a big game. You're talking minimum 100 quid for a ticket. And in reality, whilst it is a big game on paper, it's not a big game contextually. And so that's just how it was. It's not the end of the world. I do think the club could do things to improve it. But why did City go so strong against such a tiny team? I would say goal difference, because people haven't quite clocked on yet. If you end up tied on points with teams in this league phase, especially if you're going for the top 8, you end up tied on points with teams. It comes down to goal difference. So when you've got those games against the absolute weakest teams that are in your 8 games, you kind of want to be putting a lot of goals past them to try and boost your goal difference. Can we talk about that Gabby tackle on Muani as last man? He's going to get a statue outside the Emirates, 100%. Gabriel Magalhaes has been my favourite player this season. I think he's gone up another level to the point where it's like, he is as important as Saliba, 100%. There was that tackle. There was that time, the one that he was chasing back and shielded it out and then celebrated that. Obviously, he's been popping up with massive goals. I've been absolutely loving Gabriel Magalhaes so far this season. We have Shakhtar, so I'm not worried. Yeah, we've got Shakhtar. We've got Dinamo Zagreb. We got a couple of easy games. Kivior was great when he came on. Kivior did a solid job. I did feel like Calafiori at right back was, as you would assume, given he's not right-footed and he's never played at right back in his life, not as good as Timber. But when we had Timber at right back, Calafiori at left back, very, very good. Dan Potts, lead judges, and a lot more YouTubers who were in attendance said the atmosphere was dead from the Arsenal fans. Yeah. I've not just made it up. Like, I've been to every home game for however many years. Like, when the atmosphere is good, I'll talk about how good the atmosphere is. And last season, it was, unbelievable a lot of the time. Last night just wasn't that good. Yeah, it's fine. Kivior is overhated. I don't feel like Kivior's overhated. I feel like he's maybe underappreciated for what he's done. I think when you look at the period that Kivior came in last season, people... That mistake against Bayern really, I feel like, damaged Kivior's reputation more than it should have done. It was one poor game that he had against Bayern. The 9 games before that we went on a 9-game winning streak and only conceded 2 goals when he came in at left back, that was massive. And again, yesterday, we were talking about him potentially not even being in the Arsenal squad this season. And at half-time, he needed to come on in a game that we needed to make sure we saw out. And he did a very good job. He's a very good, reliable, trusty player. And the reality is, the reason I think we'll sell him is because he's too good to be a player that doesn't even necessarily get into the squad. That's why I think he has to go. Not because I want him to go. If I thought we could keep Kivior on the back burner forever, I would do. But I think he's better than that. Timberman, I'll say this: if we had him last season, we would have won the league. What an impeccable player! Yeah, I agree. But look, I think if we'd had Timber last season, we'd have won the league. Is Jurgen Timber worth 2 points? Because that's all it would have needed. All it would have needed was for him to be worth 2 points last season. Would he have been worth that? Yes. So, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, Equally, as much as we could say, well, if we'd had Timber all season, you could argue maybe if Man City had had De Bruyne all season. It's the way the cookie crumbles. But thinking ahead to January window, do you think we sign anyone? Let me introduce you to a man called Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus, right? Now, he was at the Arsenal game last night, supporting Arsenal. We know that we had kind of been interested in him before he joined West Ham. The absolute OGs of this channel will remember some of the streams from not the summer just gone, but the summer before, where Kudus was, once we'd done most of our business, Kudus was my number one. He's had a big falling out with Lopetegui, the West Ham manager. I think he's going to leave West Ham. Hello. We're hearing things about Gabriel Jesus to Palmeiras for quite a lot of money. There was money on the table for Leandro Trossard from Saudi Arabia at the end of the summer window. I think we could raise money in January to go and get Kudus. And the fact that he was there last night, directly after falling out. If you didn't see, by the way, he was substituted at halftime at the weekend for tactical reasons, right? You're talking West Ham's best player here, really, second best maybe. Substituted for tactical reasons because apparently he'd had a big bust up with Lopetegui. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. For me, that would be a big upgrade in our attack because of his versatility. This was what I always said about Kudus. What I always said I loved about him was the versatility. AMT, thank you very, very much for the 2 money. Do you think West Ham will sell him to us since Rice? Yes. Yeah. I don't think people think, basically, West Ham fans, some West Ham fans, try to create this rivalry with Arsenal because they sold Declan Rice to us. They made £105 million. It was all relatively amicable. The relationship between Arsenal and West Ham at club level is perfectly good. For whatever reason, some of those West Ham fans decided to try and create a rivalry with us. But no, I think we could go in for Kudus 100%. Jesus to Palmeiras, damn, really? Apparently they're willing to offer quite a lot of money for him. So that's only rumors, but his explosive impact on every game is impressive. It is. And we've not, we didn't spend much money this summer. We have got money to spend. And if you can then raise even more money off Jesus, bear in mind, Jesus is significant on the wage bill as well. Jesus is, I think he's on 265 grand a week. I think he's our second highest paid player. So that would be a big one to get off the wage bill. But yeah, Kudus would be the one for me in January. If you want an attacking player, you want someone that can fill in for Saka, can fill in for Martinelli, could fill in for Martin Odegaard potentially in the way that Trossard has done. Mohamed Kudus would be that guy. So some West Ham fans, aka West Ham Central, but oh my God, Central meltdown if we sign Kudus. I'd love it. I would love it because the exact same people that have tried to create a rivalry with us over Declan Rice, if we signed Kudus as well, it'd be hilarious. Wins a lot of duels as well. He is a duel winner. Have you seen the comments from Luis Enrique, the PSG coach? He basically said Arsenal won every duel. They wanted it more, and they completely deserve to win. And that is what Mikel Arteta has turned us into. Every single player at Arsenal is a duel winner. Even Havertz said it. Havertz, in his post-match interview, he was asked about, going for the header that he scored, going for that, knowing that he might get clattered into by Donnarumma, and just generally how his game's kind of developed at Arsenal. He was he admitted, he was never really a kind of physical player. He was never really interested in duels. And now that's completely changed. Every player at Arsenal loves a duel. Do we need to sell Trossard then? Probably not. Well, I don't think you'd need to sell Jesus and Trossard. No, I don't think you'd need to sell them both. Would you? You don't need to spam, Elliot. You don't need to spam. But would I be happy for Trossard to go Saudi for Kudus? Yes. Yes. If Trossard to Saudi meant getting Kudus, look, I love Trossard. I think Trossard has done an unbelievable. I think Trossard will go down as one of our most important signings of the last couple of years. For the price that we got him for when we got him, absolutely. However, and I would probably at this point rather see Jesus leave than Trossard, because Jesus is on far higher wages and having far less impact, right? So I'd rather, if you had to sell one, I'd rather it was Jesus. But if it was just a case of Kudus for Trossard, I think that would be an upgrade. It ages down again because Trossard is one of the older players in the squad. So that's what I'd do. Ian, thank you very, very much for the $5 Canadian. Jules FC, let's fucking go. You're right. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate the support. And we are Jules FC. We really are. Calafiori ranks at number 1 for Jules 1 of, I think, defenders or left backs in the Premier League. So he's come in, duel winner. Mikel Merino comes in, duel winner. You've got Declan Rice, who's just an animal. I love it. I love it. Timber loves it. They all love it. For a team that loves winning duels and defending, Kudus' strength is so good for us, and his speed would help so much in transition. Yeah, 100%. 100%. No, don't sell Trossard. No, I'm not saying I would sell Trossard. I don't want to sell Trossard. I'm saying if someone came to me and said, you can have Mohamed Kudus, but you have to sell Trossard, then I would take that. I would do that. I don't want him to go. 100% don't want him to go. Where were your player ratings? I just didn't do the player ratings video in the end. I just ran out of time. They'd have all been pretty highly rated. They'd have all been pretty highly rated. But the thing is, because I'll be completely honest with the player ratings videos, like by the time I get home from the game last night, because obviously I hang around at the end of the game to make a video and get it out straight away before I go and get on the tube. Then I go and get on the tube. By the time I get home, it's like 10 past 11. Then I do the 5 things we learned video. And then it's just a bit too late to do the player ratings. And then, just truthfully, if I upload the player ratings a day later, it just doesn't get views. So, how old is Kudus? I think I want to say like 25. I want to say 24, even better. So there you go. Yeah, 24 years old, Kudus. In fact, I'll just bring it up and we'll quickly go through it. But on the post-match press conference, Jurriën Timber obviously going off at halftime, bit concerning. As soon as he went off at halftime, I was like, that's not a tactical choice. There's no way you tactically take off Timber at halftime. But according to Arteta, he was unbelievable in the first half, but he felt something muscular and he was uncertain, and I didn't want to take any risks. He's been out for a year. He's played a lot of minutes, probably more minutes than we wanted in the last few weeks, and we have to manage him. So that's a bit of a combination. It is, we're well aware that he's probably played more than we wanted him to. He's felt something, maybe, right? So it could be the most minor of strains that he's felt. And he said, look, I felt something. And we've gone, okay, well, we're 2-0 up. We can bring on Kivior. We can still see out the game. Take him off. The good thing is, it's not like he's pulled a muscle. It's not his knee again. It's nothing serious. So, worst case scenario, he doesn't play against Southampton, and then he's got the international break off. And that's worst case scenario. So, yeah, on Timber, it was a bit of a scare. I feel like Arsenal fans are on edge a bit with injuries at the moment. I think because of the way the season has started with injuries, we're all a bit kind of on edge. We had it with Calafiori after the Leicester game, and obviously he was absolutely fine. And we had it with Timber yesterday. But Timber is so important. And this was another thing today that I kind of felt was I'm getting bored of it, to be honest, is the arguments about Timber and Ben White. And people saying, so if you put Timber in a starting in your preferred starting 11, if you put Timber in at right back, you'll get a group of people saying, oh, that's so disrespectful to Ben White. Stop disrespecting Ben White. And it's like, okay, but all you're doing is saying that right now you'd prefer Timber over White. That I don't think that in itself is directly disrespectful to Ben White. In the same way that if you just went, well, Ben White goes at right back, and if you were like, well, as soon as Ben White's fit, he goes back at right back. Well, okay, but then that's equally disrespectful to Timber, because since coming in, Timber has been absolutely fantastic. The reality is, you don't need to have an argument about it. Both of them are going to play lots of football, right? Yes, at some point, Arteta will have to decide for the biggest of big games what he prefers. Does he prefer White at right back with Timber at left back? Does he prefer White at right back with Calafiori at left back? Does he prefer Timber at right back with Calafiori at left back? Like, you know, at some point, Arteta is going to make that decision and it will become clear. But until then, they're all going to play lots of minutes. Ben White has not just been dropped, but he is currently injured. Ben White absolutely needs to play fewer minutes than he did last season. And Jurriën Timber has been very, very exciting to watch. So it's like, you know, I feel like people are, the fan base are doing this thing again where they pit themselves against each other for no reason. Like, you don't need to be on either Team White or Team Timber. It's Team Arsenal. Both of them are very good. I would be comfortable with both of them starting, and Mikel Arteta will make a decision. And there will be a point where I feel like it will be the same as Ramsdale-Raya last season. You know, where at some point last season it became clear that Raya was going to be number one. There was still that fringe group that were just super Ramsdale focused. And it's detrimental, because it means you end up with parts of the fan base deliberately tearing down. You know, last season it was Raya, deliberately over-analysing and being hypercritical just because they prefer a different player. Doesn't help anyone. But anyway, on some of the other stuff he said, Mikel Merino's debut, really good. He joined us, and the first session he got injured. He had only one session with us. He was ready. He was really willing to be part of this today. And obviously, with the injuries and changes we had to make, we believe he was a player that could help us in that phase. I think he's done it really well. Calafiori's role, he has the capacity to occupy different spaces. He's really comfortable with that. He's already done that in Italy, and that's why we signed him. First of all, he's a great defender. He has the presence and energy and full commitment in the reaction, and he does, and he's really brave. Yada, yada, yada. There wasn't too much else in that. It was a pretty short press conference, to be fair. But there you go. So that is the press conference. But mainly the good thing is Jurriën Timber has not suffered from anything significant. Nid, thank you very, very much for the 100 rupees. The fact with Trossard is man is always fit and ready to go. Very true. And a very, you know, when you look at Tomiyasu, okay, he's just about coming back. You look at Zinchenko, Trossard's availability, it's a big thing, especially if you're a squad player, right? If you're not guaranteed starting 11 and you're not like fringe, no one really cares. If you're meant to be a squad player, being available when you're needed is a big thing. João Pedro as a replacement for Jesus, maybe. I'd just rather go and get Gyökeres, personally. Maybe we can give Saliba a break too. Saliba will get a break against Preston, I think. Saliba, to be honest, is the one player that will get less rest than anyone else, at least in the defence. Because his speed is something that only really he has. And it's a massive part of what allows us to play such a high line. So I think Saliba will always get less rest than any of the other defenders, but that's fine. Kudus / João Pedro and Duran, and we are cooking. Yeah. I mean, John Duran could have gone anywhere really in the summer, and it would have been a big pickup. 2 good players in every position is what top teams have. It's actually not. It's actually not. That's the truth is, Man City do not have 2 top players in every position. This season, they haven't even got another striker. So, actually, it's having 19, maybe 20 players, but where each one of those substitute players can play multiple roles. And that's what we've got now. So to an extent, we do have 2 players for every position that are very good. But it's not like you have, you know, a first 11 and a second 11, if that makes sense. Which is fine, because you can't afford it, apart from anything. It's top players who can play multiple positions. Exactly. So we've seen it with Trossard. Trossard, primarily left winger, but actually he's been playing centrally when Odegaard's been out, done it very well. Our defenders now, barring Zinchenko, all of our defenders can play in multiple positions across the back line. Very, very good. We're buying midfielders that can play either as a 6 or as an 8. Kudus, if you brought him in, multiple positions. Kai Havertz, multiple positions. What's the update on Odegaard's injury? We don't know. We've not heard anything about Odegaard's injury since, I think, was it maybe pre-Bolton game, where Arteta said that maybe we'd get a surprise and he'd be back before the international break. But yeah, we've not heard anything else since that. The Villa and Bayern lineups out. Do you want to see the Villa Bayern lineup? I can do that. We can see the Villa Bayern lineup. Let me just bring it up. 2 segundos, por favor. Here you go. Here is the Villa versus Bayern lineup. Do you know what? I'm really excited. It's not. Oh no, there it is. I'm really excited for this game. So they've got Martinez, Konza, Carlos Torres, Digne, Onana, Tielemans, Philogene. How is it? Bidace? We'd call him Philogene. Rogers, Ramsey, Watkins. That is interesting. Is that not interesting that they've dropped Leon Bailey for Philogene? Bayern's team: Neuer, Lima, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, Alphonso Davies, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Gnabry, Elise, Coman, and Harry Kane. So there you go. No Jamal Musiala, interestingly as well. No Leroy. Yeah, quite interesting. Sane and Musiala benched for Bayern. Yeah, interesting. This is what I mean. Like, I don't know if teams are fully taking it seriously at this point. I don't know if if you're like if Bayern are resting Musiala because they're focused more on Bundesliga at this point. Like, I don't know. I find it interesting. White has played so much football over the last 2 years. Let him enjoy his rest. Bang on. Look, Ben White played most of last season through an injury. We don't actually know how bad that injury was or what it was, but he played a large amount of last season through an injury. Even this season, he was still carrying the injury, and he played through it against Man City when he had to come on. So, like, I feel like he's earned this rest, and it's not a case of him being dropped. It's a case of him being rested, because whilst we can do that, I think it's good to do it. Bring him back at full fitness. Villa Park will be on fire tonight. Yeah, it will. Villa Park will have a good atmosphere tonight, 100%. But again, Villa will benefit from what we benefited from last season, where because it was the first time back in the Champions League for such a long time, a much longer time for Villa, the atmosphere is just, people are absolutely buzzing for it. What's your prediction for this Villa game? 3-1 to Bayern Munich. 3-1 to Bayern Munich, I think. No wonder Ben is so cool. He's holding back pain at all times. Yeah, basically. Yeah, 3-1 Bayern I would go for. But yeah, so look, overall on yesterday's game, thought some of the criticism was unnecessary, was very, very comfortable with it. By the way, David Raya compared to Donnarumma, that is why I love David Raya. Donnarumma's like 6'6" and looks absolutely pathetic every time a cross comes in. David Raya is about 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", comfortable as you like under it. Set pieces once again, Nicholas Jova, you rock my world. Do you know the one that I really liked? So actually, Saka's goal was definitely planned. You could see there was a clip where Gabriel was telling everyone that the ball was going to be low. So it was planned. And then the other one, that one where Saka laid it off to Rice and then Saka got it back and went long. Like, these are the sorts of things where, again, if that had come off, you absolutely love it. Saka slightly overhit it, which was unlucky, but oh God, I love them. Thoughts on Partey's start to the season? Yeah, Partey's been getting better as the season's gone on. I do think, it's not going to be the case. It's not going to be the case of Merino comes in, Declan Rice goes to the 6, and Partey's just dropped, right? I do think that will still be our best lineup when we can do it. But Partey is still going to play plenty of football, I think. He's really been growing into the season. He's played a lot of minutes, which is good, finally. So, yeah, I was gutted he overhit the cross. Yeah. I was also gutted with that chance that Martinelli hit straight at Donnarumma. The one where it was I can't remember who flicked it over to Havertz, who then flicked it over to Martinelli, and he hit that volley. That would have been an unbelievable goal as well. Havertz is really proving everyone wrong. He's scoring for fun now. Yeah, 6 consecutive games at the Emirates that he scored in. Puts him tied with Adebayor and someone else. And then it's just Robin Van Persie that did it 7 in a row at one point, which is crazy. Look, there's 330 of you in here, by the way. So if you could click the like button and get us to 100 likes, right? That's all I'm asking. 1/3 of you to click the like button. That would be massively useful for me, to be honest. And if you could subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, we're here every night. We love it. Hi, Rory. Why have you stopped appearing on the Football Terrace? Missed you there, mate. You were always so sensible and had really good takes. To be honest, there was a few reasons. It wasn't something I even planned, to be honest. But obviously, we go live on here at 6:30. So I was trying to juggle being on the terrace and being on here on Mondays and Thursdays. And to be honest, I'd sit there some evenings and you'd have, truthfully, I'd sit there some evenings and you'd have Don sat there telling you that 2 Arsenal players get into a combined 11 with Chelsea, that Caicedo and Lavia are the 2 best defensive midfielders in the Premier League, stuff like that. And I'm like, realistically, can I be bothered to sit there for 2 hours and engage with that? And the answer is no, to be honest. Can you collab with Lee Gunner? No, I'm all right, thank you. Saka passed to Rice because all our defenders were staying offside. After the pass, Trossard made a wicked run from behind it. It was a master tactics, but the pass from Saka was a bit too far. Yeah, exactly. Don runs the terrace. Oh, Don ruins the terrace. I thought you said Don runs the terrace. No, look, there is absolutely a place for that content, right? But it's the reason that the only show that I don't do on here now, the only YouTube show that I do that's not on this channel is the Rational League on Mo's channel. And the reason is because it's Nobbins, Mo, Tom Little. I feel like that's good conversation. And that's all I need to do. We do that twice a week. That's 4 hours of my week put into that. So yeah, I just feel like with the terrace, look, Terry, by the way, absolutely, love Terry. Was massively grateful when he invited me on in the first place. Think he runs a great channel. The actual way that the Football Terrace runs is very, very good. I just think that show's not really for me. Keep going on Mo's channel. All the fans there are getting rattled by Arsenal. You love to see it. The terrace needs a tie. Do you get paid? Not me personally, no. Collab with AFTV? Maybe. I went on AFTV a couple of times the season before last. But Don makes me hate Chelsea more than any other team. Such fake arrogance and anti-Arsenal agenda. I know. What's the beef with Lee? You'd have to ask him. I just randomly get clips from time to time where he's on his channel just lying about me and abusing me when I've not said or done anything to him. So the Twitter user that started the 2,000 days since Saka scored a free kick is so finished. Yeah, that was crazy. Magic, thank you very, very much for the £10 super chat with just a little heart hand emoji. That is incredible support. Thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Terry is a boyo, and he snipped off most of the knobs on there. Just needs to purge Don. Now, look, Don's got his place, The video on centre-backs yesterday with Saka was... Oh, the video on CBS yesterday with Saka was so good. It was, yeah. Saka yesterday, by the way, captaining the side, properly carried himself like a captain. You look at the way that Saka has matured as a person, even in his interviews, when you hear him speaking after the game. He was saying what we've been saying, that Arsenal needed to make a statement about against a big European team in the Champions League. And he even said to Thierry Henry, and I think I think because Saka and Thierry Henry have a relationship, off camera or behind the scenes where they're friendly with each other, Henry felt kind of comfortable enough to ask Saka why it is that at home in the Champions League, we're so different to away in the Champions League. And Saka acknowledged it and was like, yeah, look, before we went out tonight, I told the players we needed to make a statement. And the next time we play away against a big team, we need to make a statement as well. So the players are aware of it. And Saka's talking big. Yeah, exactly like you say. Saka's talking big. And it's good. It is good. Did you see Saka Instagram post with Perez? Yeah, they're friends again. Saka and Perez are friends again, which is good to see. Anyway, look, it is time for Guess the Goal Scorer. I'm going to give you all of the information about an Arsenal goal. You have to give me the goal scorer and the team that it was against. First person to get it right was the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards because we are starting now. This goal was scored with the right foot. The goal was scored with the right foot. It was assisted by Olivier Giroud. It was scored in the 18th minute. It was scored at the Emirates. Arsenal won the game 4-1 in October 2013. Right-footed, assisted by Giroud in the 18th minute at the Emirates in an Arsenal 4-1 win in October 2013. Who is going to be first? Oh dear, Christian, you gave the player. Christian gave the player, but not the team. So did Penguin. Penguin gave the player, but not the team. Tom McFadden. Tom McFadden is the winner. It was Jack Wilshere. It was against Norwich. He even added the score and the year. But it was indeed that Jack Wilshere goal against Norwich. Space-Time was second. Oslo Gunnar was third. Eric was fourth. And Nid was fifth. So there you go. Jack Wilshere against Norwich. Can you believe that was 11 years ago? October 2013. 11 years ago. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. There you go, Tom. First time competing. I'm 1 for 1. Credit to Tom. Ian, no worries. Good to see you. Have a good evening. I was at that game. There you go. Should have got it first then, shouldn't you, Ian? Really? If you're at the game, there's no excuses. But no, it's that was good. What a goal, by the way. What a goal. I was listening to The Club with Rory Jennings and Adam McCullough and Boovy and that lot. They were doing it was a clip on TikTok, but they've been talking about what their best ever goal, like what they believe is the best ever goal. And they were giving examples like Ronaldo's bicycle kick in the Champions League, Bale's bicycle kick in the Champions League. Can't remember what other examples they gave. But for me, that Jack Wilshere goal is, and I might always be, the best ever goal. Like, I have never seen that level of intricate one-touch passing and a one-touch finish off your weak foot. Now, he's actually come out since and said that the finish was actually accidental, that he was going for the other corner, but we'll ignore that. For me, like, can't stand Boovy. Yeah, well. But yeah, for me, that is honestly, I think that's the best ever goal. I really do think that is the best ever goal. There you go. Anyway, it's time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks football community, but not as much respect as Tom McFadden currently has. This player started their career at Ipswich Town. They went to Charlton Athletic. They went to Tottenham Hotspur. They went to Sunderland. They went to Aston Villa. They went to Fulham on loan. They went to Brighton on loan. They went to Derby County on loan. They went to Derby County on a free. They went to Burton Albion on loan. And then they retired. So Ipswich, Charlton, Tottenham, Sunderland, Aston Villa, Fulham on loan, Brighton on loan, Derby on loan, Burton Albion, Derby. Who is the player? Right, who got it first? Who got it first? It was Oslo Gunnar. It was Oslo Gunnar. It was indeed Darren Bent. Oslo Gunnar was first. Fizzy was second. Lots of people were guessing Jermaine Defoe. Emili Yoy was third. We'll give it to him that he tried to put Bent. Tom McFadden was fourth. And no one was fifth. James Salder thinks he was first. VAR check. Oslo Gunnar's goal. Offside. Oslo Gunnar, I apologise. James Salder was correct in his call for a VAR check. James Salder, goal given. That's the first one we've had in a while. That's the first VAR check we've had to have in a while. Come on. You know, that's been overturned. At least we've overturned it on the field, unlike Bruno Fernandes, you know? At least VAR has overturned it on the field of play. If it was Bruno Fernandes, I'd be ending this stream and Oslo Gunnar would still be the winner. And I'd be coming back tomorrow saying, oh, by the way, James Salder won yesterday. So, you know, be grateful for what you've got, you know? Be grateful for the VAR. James Salder met Marcus Bent. Don't lie, James. Yeah, imagine. You're getting sacked in the morning. You can't sack me. How about that? I am the owner. I am both Howard Webb and Michael Oliver, all in one. Now what? Is there going to be a TIFO stream? No, not tonight. There's not a TIFO stream tonight. The next TIFO stream will be at the weekend. It'll be at the weekend, unfortunately. I will have the normal TikTok stuff out tonight. And then we will be live on Twitch, continuing Waneri to glory. Except tonight, I think we need to try and upgrade. I've got an objective going for Miles Lewis-Skelly. So the Waneri to glory continues tonight on Twitch. Link is down in the description to the Twitch channel. It'll be about 10:30 until about midnight. So look forward to seeing you there. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Please do like and subscribe before you jump off. Have a fantastic evening. I'll be back live here tomorrow, same time as normal. And until then, goodbye. Doo-doo.